Welcome to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin, and today we're looking at the Ridgid 10-ounce cordless electric caulking gun. That's kind of a lot. If you prefer, it's also known as the R84044B, if that's more familiar to you. Let's dig into it. We'll start with unboxing it. It comes in a nice, reasonably packaged cardboard box. I purchased this from Direct Tools. This is considered a factory reconditioned tool. From the box, though, I would say this looks like basically a brand new tool, but we'll see what it looks like when we get it out. There we go. That's something. All right. So yeah, I would say that doesn't look factory reconditioned. That looks like basically a brand new tool. But we'll look for any signs of wear. Okay, here is, I will say already, it is way bulkier than I thought it would be. I don't know what I thought per se, but this is quite bulky. I'm just inspecting it close. This really looks like brand new. I don't see a scratch on it, a sign. So yeah, I mean, maybe it is factory reconditioned, but it's impressive. In weight, it's fairly well balanced. One thing I've always appreciated about Ridgid is they have a really nice rubber molded grip. Their grips are always just very, very comfortable, feel very solid in your hand. Obviously they do use plastic in some areas on this, quite a bit around the body, this here, but it's also, it feels very solid, so I expect it will perform well, but we'll see. Alright, let's go. Now, I am going to use my adapter here so that I can power this with my Makita 18-volt battery. Because I don't actually have any Ridgid batteries. I haven't bought into the Ridgid system, and I don't want to juggle a bunch of different batteries and chargers. So this is what I've done to make this compatible. All right, going over the features. I'm gonna try to get this in here. There's a little switch here, a little safety, if you will, that allows you to depress the trigger. If you have it on, it basically locks it, right? So pretty straightforward there. Let's see, you've got a dial for presumably amount of pressure, and 1 being the least. So I don't know if this is going to show, but I'm pulling the trigger, and look at how slowly this is moving the plunger through. Very, very slowly. Dial it all the way up to 7, and you can see that moving and hear it moving a lot faster, right? Here's your plunger that's going to go through your caulking tube, and then let's see, we got a belt loop that you can hook it onto your work belt. You've got looks like this is nice. This just screws off. Which probably helps you if you need to get in here and clean this. I do think that potentially might be a concern. And then this just screws back in there, which is nice. And then it doesn't seem to like lock or anything, so it just kind of, that's all the way in. And that is about it, is in terms of functions. So you've got your trigger, you got your safety, you've got your kind of your level of pressure, like how fast this plunger is going to force through the system. And then, you know, obviously to reset, you just pull it straight back. Pretty painless. So you can probably see I've got a few 10-ounce bottles of caulk, and 10 ounces probably, you know, there's essentially 2 sizes. This is probably what most homeowners will use. If you're a contractor and you are doing this day in, day out, you might opt for the bigger size, but small caulking jobs that I need to do today, and I'm going to go with this kitchen, bath, and tub adhesive to start with. And let's just take a look and see if it, yeah. So I'm just going to have to cut off the tip, just the tip. Now for this one I actually need a pretty decent sized bead of caulk, so I am going to, well, maybe, there we go. I'm going to cut it pretty sizably. And then this does feature a, if I can get it out, it features a piercing rod, battery ram, if you will. And that definitely did it. Alright, there we go. Very good. And essentially we should be ready to go. It just kind of loads in there. You can bring it forward until it engages, because otherwise it's going to slide, right? There we are. We're pretty much fully locked. So let's go use this thing and see what happens. So here's just a little area that I've been wanting to touch up. Not a huge issue, but it's something to start with. And I'm going to just start with 3.5 for my setting and see how it works. We might need to bump up from there. There we go. I got a nice bead coming out. Alright, so not my best work by any means, but what I really was pleased with is as soon as I let go of the trigger, it did stop coming out. That's always a good start. Let's go ahead and put another bead on there. Okay, I'm obviously bouncing all over the place, but we'll try this one more time. I think I might be going just a little too fast. I'm going to dial it down a little bit, and then I'm going to obviously clean this up, go a little nicer here. Okay, let's wrap up and talk about what we learned. Well, one, we learned that this is a really good tool. Two, we learned that I'm really bad at caulking, and that's not a surprise. I knew I wasn't good at it. I think the more time I spent with this, the better I got. I got more comfortable with controlling the flow. Initially, I was definitely had the flow set too high, but I got better with it as I worked with it, which was helpful. That's good. I think it's a great tool. I was really pleased that, here, to show you, if you take this out, there's no caulk slipping past. If you look, let's unscrew this, make it a little clearer. None of the caulk slipped past the ring in here. Sometimes that happens. Caulk will slip past that plunger and get back into here. Also, this is just a much better design. It is going to ensure it's not going to get back into the gears. 10 years ago or so, I had a Ryobi, Ryobi cordless caulking gun that I used, and I think maybe the second time I used it, some caulk slipped past the ring, got past here, there was nothing to really seal it, got into the gears and the mechanism and completely hosed the whole thing and had to throw it away. So that was no bueno. This is a much better design. That clearly won't happen here. Also, it's very sturdy. It's a little bit on the heavy side with the battery and all, but I think it's pretty useful to use. Is it better than one of these? Yeah, I think so. particularly if you have maybe arthritis in your hands, or you just don't like squeezing one of these all day. And then, you know, this is just nice and easy. You just pull that trigger and it just gently goes through. It also applies consistent pressure and just keeps feeding that through, whereas with these you kind of squeeze and then you let up, and then you squeeze and then you let up. That doesn't happen with this. It's all consistent, which is nice. It is an adjustment, as I mentioned, but very good. The only thing that I think is missing on it, at least I couldn't find anything that looked like what I was looking for. You'll notice on these old school ones, they always had a hole where you could stick your bottle of caulk in and then guillotine it to open it. I didn't see anything like that on this one, so if you know of one, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to see if I missed something. But otherwise, I'd say it's a great tool. Is it one that you absolutely need? Probably not, unless you're doing this every day. And if you are, you're probably going to want to opt for the bigger size than the 10 ounce. But for me, it does odds and ends here and there. It's a nice tool to pick up. I got it, like I said, from Direct Tools as a factory reconditioned, and I think it was about $50, and I think that's a good price point for a good quality item as a bare tool. And like I said, it says factory reconditioned, but it really looks brand new. I don't know if it really was reconditioned or not. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something, and if not, maybe the next video is the one for you. But hit that subscribe button and stay in tune, and I'll see you in the next video.